What's up, guys? Bang, bang. New spots, new positions, new haircuts, lunch money time on a Friday. While Wall Street's getting rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. Here I am with the beautiful, intelligent, and freshly cut Polina Marinova.
Not by him.
I didn't do it. Nope. You guys didn't get enough likes on the tweet. We went and got real haircuts. By the way.
Doesn't it look good?
By the way, huge complaint in society. Most people I know go to a barber. I usually go to a barber. You walk in, you tell them real easy, hey, for $25 or $20, cut me up with your little clippers. Get me a one on the side, fade it down, do a little to the top, make me look good. You're a pro. Polina made me go to a hair salon person. They want like $9 million and they want you to sit there for an hour. They ask you all these stupid questions and then they do this. What is this? Looks the same, just like any other haircut.
Oh my God, you look so much better.
So much time, so much money for the same thing. I like the commoditized barbershops.
Can we talk about billionaires attacking other billionaires now?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Elon Musk is a billionaire, correct?
Correct.
He is now saying he is criticizing Bezos and calling for Amazon to get broken up. He tweeted, "This is insane, Jeff Bezos. Time to break up Amazon. Monopolies are wrong." And this article literally has a line in it that says, Musk does not have the legal authority to break up Amazon.
This is all over somebody that I know online, Alex Burnson, I think is how you pronounce his last name, has been tweeting facts, little data about coronavirus that goes against the public narrative. He wrote a book, like an ebook, that essentially is summarizing all of those facts. So this is based on academic studies and actual data. He then went to sell it online on Amazon. Amazon wrote him a note and said, we will not be selling this book, basically censoring him. And so when Alex then started to say, hey, Amazon's censoring me, Musk stepped in and said, hey, you shouldn't be censoring. This is a monopoly, break them up, etc. Do you think that Amazon is a monopoly? That's the first question. Yes. Why?
They're a monopoly.
Why?
Because they are killing competition.
Are they? Shopify is doing just fine.
No, they're not.
Shopify stock has exploded.
They're nowhere near where Amazon is.
A monopoly isn't, hey, you have to have it be fair in terms of everyone has to have the same size business.
I know that.
It has to be, they are preventing competition. And if Shopify.
That's one company.
Okay, well, how many companies do you need?
At least
a monopoly,
more than one.
No, but a monopoly would be one company dominates.
Okay,
if there's two companies, that's a duopoly.
Let's just say that if we were all playing Monopoly with Jeff Bezos, he'd be winning right now.
That's true, but that doesn't mean that he should be broken up. Who's more of a monopoly, Facebook, Google, or Amazon?
Amazon.
Amazon? Probably.
Okay.
But by the way, Elon Musk, this all came a day or 2 days after he said he was going to take a break from Twitter, and then he came back firing, just literally dropping fire all over Twitter.
I thought he was taking a break.
He did. He took a break for like 24 hours, and he came back to tell Jeff Bezos that they should break up Amazon.
Take a bigger break.
It's all right, but don't get your hair cut at a normal salon. Okay, wealth transfer. What's going on? Come on, let's go. Let's go on with the wealth transfer.
Okay, so So Jim Cramer is saying that the COVID pandemic is.
Go ahead.
This is not a makeup show. You told me about my lip gloss. If I can't promote my lip gloss, you can't promote your haircut.
I should be an actor.
Oh my God.
Come on, what's going on with the wealth transfer?
Guys.
Come on.
Okay, so Jim Cramer is saying that the stock market is rising. And basically, he's saying that small businesses are going to suffer and big businesses are going to do even better now after the COVID pandemic. And there's going to be a huge wealth transfer.
Well, what he directly said was, and quoting, one of the greatest wealth transfers in history. Then he said, the bigger the business, the more it moves the major averages. And that matters because this is the first recession where big business is coming through virtually unscathed, if not going for the gold.
Is that not true?
Yes, but here he is missing a key part of this. He's just looking at the stock market. There's three key data points that I think are important to watch here. One is the reason why there is a wealth transfer is because the rich get richer based on central bank actions. Central banks are printing $3+ trillion in the United States. Globally, they're printing even more trillions. That is inflating the stock market. And what is happening at the exact same time is the bottom 50% of Americans are disproportionately losing their jobs. So you get people who are of lower socioeconomic status, they're losing their jobs, their income, they're getting screwed. all of the assets for rich people, they're inflating. So you get this huge divergence. But on top of that, even worse, if you look at the job loss, if you break it down by race, I saw today, Blacks, Asians, and other minorities getting hit exponentially more by the job loss. And so what you're getting is not only this wealth transfer based on if you were already rich, you get richer, or if you were poor, you're getting poor, but also it's along race lines as well. Some of that is just structurally. There's a bunch of studies that show certain races are more likely to take on certain jobs, and those happen to be in the hospitality industry. They got hit the hardest. But this wealth transfer is very, very real, and it's happening in such a compacted period of time. Like, think about it. There's been a higher and higher concentration of the stock market in less people's hands over time. I forget the exact data.
Fewer people's hands.
Fewer people. But I honestly think it's like the top 1% of the wealth in the United States owns like 80% of stocks or some crazy number like that. Don't quote me on that exact number, but something like that. And so they're benefiting.
So, okay, this is interesting. Wouldn't you say that because we now also have Bitcoin, that there is also a wealth transfer that will occur?
Well, I think the whole argument for Bitcoin in terms of equality is that right now, for the first time ever, you have an asset that can't be inflated. Because remember, stock, I could technically issue more stock and I could dilute you. I could also do a stock buyback, which is supposed to make it more valuable. Same with currencies, same with a lot of this stuff. But you have an asset now that you can literally buy $10 worth. Like real estate has similar properties of inflation hedges, but you need a lot of money to buy real estate, right? So now all of a sudden you have something where somebody can buy $10, $100, $10,000, whatever it is, and they can benefit from it. There's a book that somebody wrote. It's called Bitcoin in Black America. This guy Isaiah wrote, had on the podcast. He just does a great job of explaining, like, for the first time, there is education and an asset available to a lot of the people in these communities who previously don't have the financial education, whatever. But the beauty of it is it's non-discriminatory, right? Anybody of any socioeconomic class can go ahead and do this. I don't know if you saw, but Mark Cuban recently was tweeting with Preston Pysh, and they were going back and forth. And like, Mark Cuban doesn't believe in Bitcoin, right? So there's still people who are like incredibly wealthy and well-educated and have been very successful in life. Like, they don't believe.
Does he think it's witchcraft?
No, he's more of the belief of like the end game is not what Bitcoiners believe. Bitcoiners believe that Bitcoin will become a global reserve currency. Everything will be denominated in Bitcoin. Like, that's the fiat experiment and all the printing. That's where we end up. Mark is of the belief, like, why would people spend Bitcoin if it's going to continue to appreciate more and more over time, right? And so, like, look, there's good arguments in both cases. At the end of the day, wealth transfer is happening.
Got it.
Should we stop it?
Stop wealth transfer?
Yeah.
I just want the wealth in like the little people's hands. I don't really care about these massive businesses. I'd rather the small businesses have the wealth.
That's why Shopify, do you know what Shopify, one of their mottos is?
No.
Is arm the rebels.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And the whole idea is Shopify wants to help all the small businesses go against like the Goliaths, right? Like, let's arm the Davids, the rebels,
because
to
suddenly
go after.
Shopify is David and Amazon is Goliath.
Yeah, and so we can give the tools to the rebels.
Speaking of Goliath, Apple has.
Did you just hit us with a transition? Okay, I see you got the black. I see you got the black uniform on. Finally following the rules.
I don't like this side. I don't like this. Oh, okay, stop it. Anthony,
go ahead. Let's go. Ooh, guys! At the 11-minute mark, I got hit with the first name.
Okay,
that's trouble.
So Apple has spent years and millions of dollars on automating its production lines with technology. Yet it has always reverted to using skilled human beings. This begs the question: can people ever really be replaced? My dexterity. Can it really be replaced?
Of course they can.
Why?
Because there's other companies who have already done it. Look at Tesla's production lines. There's still humans involved in it.
Yes.
But a majority of it has been replaced by robots.
But Apple has smaller devices and you need more dexterity than you do on a car.
No, they're doing surgery with robots. There's nothing more.
Oh, they are doing surgery.
There's nothing more nuanced and kind of sensitive than literally doing brain surgery with a robot. Because one misstep and you literally will kill somebody.
I don't know if they've done brain surgery. I think they've done like lung surgery.
Whatever. Details don't matter to make a good story. But at the end of the day, yes, Apple could definitely do this. I actually think what ends up happening, though, is...
Why are they failing?
I don't think that they're failing as much as what they're realizing is it takes time to build the robotics, right? And also they have supply chains that they're relying on other things. Like Apple doesn't assemble any of this themselves.
Yeah.
Right. They're relying on all these other things, which, by the way, I wrote about today in the newsletter that I write, all about the concentration of risk in China and also with very small number of manufacturers. The argument previously was this is a pursuit of efficiency. So we trust people in China to put this together because it's low cost labor and they've done a good job in the past. We're going to keep using it. Now, as people are being incentivized to move it back on shore or to other geographies, machinery and automation is going to play a huge part of it, but it takes time to build that stuff.
That sounds like an interesting column. Maybe I should read it.
Are you mocking me?
No, I just haven't read your newsletter today.
She gets a haircut, and now all of a sudden she just takes over the show. All right. Well,
okay. Well, that's cool. I just
do you like it?
No, it's not a matter of like or dislike. It's a matter of Apple cannot frickin' figure it out.
I think Apple's figured it out just fine.
I don't think so. Okay. So newspapers are facing an uphill battle to survive this pandemic. It says more than 30 newspapers have already closed across the U.S. since the pandemic began. So I actually believe that I am not a big fan of national news organizations. Stop doing that.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. I think that local news is much more impactful and actually much more informative for the people in that community. The problem is that there's not a lot of money for local journalism, which is really sad. So we all end up watching these like figures on Fox and CNN who are purely entertainment, not really real journalists, in my opinion. But anyway, so interesting. 30 newspapers have closed their doors. But I think what The Athletic has done in terms of local journalism is interesting because they've been able to get these local journalists, pay them more money, and incentivize them to do amazing local reporting.
Yeah, the virus exposed shams in society. One of the biggest shams was the business model of media companies. The media companies that have broken business models are dying. That's how markets work. You can't make enough money.
They all have broken business models.
Obviously, they don't, because the New York Times, The Athletic, et cetera, have figured out that there's a better business model. They're moving to subscription-based business models where their readers are providing sustainable recurring revenue. These small-time newspapers, they were built on advertising revenue, on what do they call classified sections, job boards, all this nonsense. That's just not the world we live in today. And so you either adapt or you die. They didn't adapt, they died.
Did you hear about this? Like what they want to do with Google and Facebook?
No.
Okay. So there's like a bill that's proposed that would allow news outlets to tap into the advertising duopoly of Facebook and Google.
But what are they going to do with them?
To get advertising from them.
Yeah, no.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
again, let the free market reign. And these people, right? Have you ever talked to somebody who runs the business of a local newspaper?
Yes.
Are they the smartest people you know? Do you think that they can compete on the national stage to run a sustainable business? Okay. So what ends up happening is you either, and again, they're good people, right? They actually ran a great business up until some point in time, but you either have to innovate or you die.
So what is the answer to this? How do we save local journalism?
They're not going to get saved in their current form. They're going to die. And so actually the smarter thing to do would be for them to either sell their businesses now to whoever the next idiot is to buy their bags, or two is to replicate what The Athletic is doing to do it for local journalism.
But it's really sad. So I read this one really, really well done investigative article about a community where the local paper shut down. Shut down. And the level of corruption in terms of the political regime in that small community just erupted because there was nobody to keep the politicians in check.
Yeah. By the way, I have a very nuanced view of the media, which is that most of the news that we read is complete manipulation, propaganda, and in many cases fake news. But at the same time, I'm a huge believer that the free press is one of the greatest kind of pillars of our democracy. And we're seeing that with all of the protests and all this stuff where literally we have journalists being arrested, shot at, beaten up, all this nonsense. And so what ends up happening is like, how do you solve this? If I was somebody who wanted to specifically solve the problem of local journalism, I would do exactly what Ben Thompson talks about. Ben Thompson's whole thing is, let's say that you live in Murray, Kentucky. I know a business that's there. And in Murray, Kentucky, there's probably one person who every day should send out an email, and that email should say, here's everything that happened in Murray, Kentucky. And if you're one of the 5,000 people that care about Murray, Kentucky, then you should pay $10 a month. Well, if you do that and there's 5,000 people paying, That's literally more than $500,000 for that one person to do.
But then you kind of make journalism an elitist thing. Not everybody has access to the information. So if you live in a very low income community, people aren't going to spend $10 for your newsletter when they could spend it elsewhere. It doesn't work that way.
Well, then you have to deliver the news through a different manner. You could do it, let's say, through audio. Why does it have to be written? Why don't you literally record a podcast and post it that way? You have to adapt or you die. And the business model that they currently are using isn't working. And that's not my personal opinion. It's just the data is showing that model doesn't work. So they have to adapt. There's other ways to do it. They aren't all foolproof, right? Like there's issues with those as well, but we'll see what happens. What's next?
All right. Well, private equity firms, big win for them. The Labor Department issued guidance that would allow 401k plans to invest in buyout firms. So does that mean that I can now invest in private equity firms through my 401k?
Well, I don't know all of the details of this, and they're still trying to figure it out exactly, but that is the hope, or that is the goal of this.
What is the point?
The two things that I'll say is, well, one is the private market has definitely shown to be some of the best investment opportunities available.
And regular investors have been kind of shut out from the private market for a very long time, correct?
If you're not an accredited investor, you previously have been unable to invest there. And then second of all is the pool of capital you can use. So we'll take an average American who, has some cash in their bank account. They've got some stocks that they own. They have a house that's probably their biggest asset. And they've got this 401k that they usually are putting into mutual funds or some sort of passive public vehicles. Now there would be some level of ability to put that into private funds.
Okay. But aren't private funds a little bit more risky?
You could argue that private funds, because they've outperformed public funds in many cases, are actually less risky. At the same time, if you look at it from the percentage of funds that go to zero or don't return capital, like venture capital funds are definitely more risky.
But venture capital firms aren't included in this.
Yeah, my whole thing at the end of the day is I am a proponent of getting rid of regulation. Let people, give them all of the options that are available and let them make their own decisions.
You have a lot of faith in humanity.
No, it's just, I believe that the market forces take over. And if you're an idiot, if you take your 401k and you gamble with it and you lose the money, that's your problem. You took the risk.
But isn't there a sort of like, I want people to be, as a reporter, I want people to be informed and educated and on top of things. But there's a lot of people who just don't know.
But it's not your job to look out for those people. It's their job to look out for themselves. Educate yourself. No one's coming to save you. And by the way, that is what makes a market. The risk you take, you can get reward, but you can also lose all your money.
All right.
Are you a free market person yet?
Yes, I am. I've always been a free market person. I just have nuance that you fail to understand.
I actually, I understand. I think that you're a light touch regulation person.
I'm a light touch regulation person. I think that there has to be a little bit to help people prevent them from themselves, because people will blow themselves up.
Yeah, that's what taking risks means.
Okay.
If you could blow yourself up financially easier, I bet you more people would get educated.
That's also true.
Like let's actually, you want to drive an incentive to educate people? Actually introduce some risk. Because right now, guess what? In those mutual funds, for the most part, who's actually getting rich is the bankers.
Yeah.
The people on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Everyone else is trying to get their lunch money right. But the Wall Street bankers, they're the ones making all the money on the mutual funds.
Well.
Uh-oh, timeout, bang, bang. Uh-oh, we forgot the sponsor. Oh, shit. We're sponsored by BlockFi. Get money, get paid. Woo. Right after the 401k plans, we're going to talk about money. Get money, get paid. BlockFi is the sponsor. They have 3 products. You can buy and sell crypto. You can deposit crypto and get a US dollar loan. Or my favorite product as an investor and a user is that you can deposit crypto and earn up to 8.6% APY on your account. Literally, what you can do is you can take dollars, you can wire it into your BlockFi account. They'll deposit it into an interest-bearing account for you, and they will pay you 8.6% APY through that account. It's an interest-bearing account. It is awesome. I highly, highly suggest it. If you don't want to do dollars, you can put something like Bitcoin. You can earn up to 6% on your Bitcoin. It's a no-brainer. Go check it out. Click on the link in the description. We'll tell you more at the end. But now they can't say that we forgot the sponsor.
This is what happens when you talk about your haircut and you want to be a movie star.
Hey, listen, BlockFi, if you guys need a spokesman, don't worry. I'm locked and loaded, ready to go. Okay. All right, silent retreat. Oh, Joe hit us with the emoji. Go ahead.
Are you ready for the silent retreat story? This man, why are you not speaking?
Oh, sorry, I was on a silent retreat.
Gets a haircut, thinks he's cool. Okay, so Calm down. Okay, so on the morning of Yes. On the morning of May 23rd, this man named Daniel came out of he rejoined society after a 2.5-month-long silent retreat. And he tweeted, "What'd I miss?"
Oh, sorry. I was on another silent retreat. I don't believe it.
What do you mean you don't believe it?
Come on. He went into a silent retreat for at the exact moment that all this chaos happened, and then came out at the exact moment it was all ending.
It's not really ending.
I don't know. I've never heard of a 75-day silent retreat. I've heard of a 30-day silent retreat. I've heard of a 1 week, a 1 day, a 90-day. I've never heard of a 75-day.
He did it on his own. He went into a cabin, and he's like a monk of some sort.
If you go on a silent retreat, how do you know when time's up?
I don't know. You just decide one day.
Oh, so you're like, hey, I'm going to go into a hibernation, like a bear in the winter.
Exactly.
And then one day you're just like, okay, it's over.
Beard, and then he came out and it's like a Mad Max society.
Like it would be pretty crazy to come out now.
Right?
I'm joking, by the way. I do believe that he actually did it. But it would be pretty crazy to come back out and be like, wait a second, hold on. 40 million people lost their jobs. There was a pandemic. There's riots in the street.
Boris Johnson, he was just like all sorts of stuff.
Wait, what is going on?
He said after he came out, he went to like a gas station. Everything looked normal. Then he went to a grocery store. And this is my favorite quote. He goes, "I would turn a corner in the grocery store and someone would be there and they would recoil. I haven't installed the COVID operating system." At first I was like, whoa, what did I do?
Yeah, you just breathed, dude. You were just breathing. You gotta get away from everybody.
Do you like the COVID operating system?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right. Lunch money time. Lunch money time. Lunch money time. Lunch money time. Okay. It's Friday. You know what that means? We're giving away $100.
What should we make the challenge for this week?
You should take the video, go tweet it, use #lunchmoney. And what I want to hear.
Make fun of his hair.
No, what I want to hear is if somebody made a movie about your life, who is the actor or actress that would play you? Take the URL, tweet it, use #lunchmoney.
So random.
And if somebody made a movie about your life, who is the actor or actress that would play you?
Who's the actor who would play you?
I'll tell you guys on Monday.
I'll tell you right now.
Who?
About you?
Yeah.
Jason Statham. Okay.
That's not who I would pick, but yeah.
Who would you pick? Like
I'll tell you guys on Monday.
Bruce Willis or something?
No, Bruce Willis is old.
Justin Timberlake?
Nah, never mind.
Okay.
He's suspect.
All right,
guys. All right, guys. That's it for Lunch Money. We will talk to you guys on Monday.
I'm going to take my silent retreat now.
New haircuts.
New life. Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.